There is a specific kind of silence that only money can buy. It isn't just the absence of noise. It's the absence of friction. You open your eyes. There is no alarm clock. You wake up simply because your body has decided it is done resting. The air in the room is perfectly calibrated to 68 degrees. The blackout shades, triggered by a silent smart home system, slowly glide upward, revealing a panoramic view of the Pacific Ocean. You are 22 years old, and your last name is printed on skyscrapers. You don't make your bed. You don't think about making your bed. The concept of household chores was removed from your bloodline 3 generations ago. You step onto the heated Italian marble floor and walk downstairs. The house is massive, yet completely quiet. By the time you reach the kitchen, your coffee is already waiting. An estate attendant, someone whose entire salary is a rounding error in your trust fund, places a silver tray on the island. Organic, single-origin espresso. Fresh fruit imported from South America that morning. Your day begins, but there is no rush. There is nowhere you have to be. Your schedule is a menu of choices, not a list of obligations. You spend the late morning by the infinity pool, swiping through your phone. You check your bank app, not to see if you have enough, but just to watch the numbers multiply. While you were sleeping, your family's index funds generated more money than most people make in a decade. For lunch, you don't cook. You tell the private chef you're craving sushi, and 45 minutes later, bluefin tuna is sliced perfectly in front of you. Your afternoon is spent on pure enjoyment. Maybe a private tennis lesson, or taking the Porsche out for a drive up the coast. The world bends around you. Doors open before you reach them. People smile at you, hoping a fraction of your wealth might rub off on them. When night falls, you return to a pristine home. The bed has been made with fresh, 1,200 thread count Egyptian cotton sheets. You lie down, completely physically relaxed. There is no anxiety about tomorrow. There is no dread. You close your eyes, heavily insulated from the reality of the world spinning outside your gates. On the exact same morning, in the exact same country, a different set of eyes opens. But this time, it's not peaceful. It is violent. The alarm screams at 5:30 a.m. It's an abrasive, cheap plastic clock ringing in the pitch black. You smash your hand against it to make it stop. The room is freezing. The landlord hasn't fixed the radiator in 3 months. You pull the thin, worn-out sheet up to your chin, trying to hold on to the last bit of body heat. You don't have a heavy winter blanket. You couldn't afford one this year. You're 22 years old, and your net worth is a negative number. You sit up on a mattress that sags in the middle, feeling the ache in your lower back from yesterday's shift. There is no heated floor. You step onto cold, peeling linoleum. You walk to the kitchen. There is no attendant. There is no fresh fruit. You open the fridge, and the fluorescent light flickers. You grab a heel of stale bread left over from 2 days ago. You choke it down with a glass of tap water because you're out of coffee grounds and payday isn't until Friday. You put on your boots. The soles are wearing thin. You step out into the freezing pre-dawn air to catch the city bus. It takes an hour and a half of stop-and-go traffic to reach the warehouse. For the next 10 hours, you trade your physical health for $12 an hour. You lift, you carry, you sweat. Your muscles burn. The foreman yells. You don't talk back, because if you lose this job, you lose the room you sleep in. You are entirely replaceable to the system, and you know it. Lunch is a 10-minute break sitting on a concrete loading dock. eating a crushed pack of crackers from the vending machine. By the time you get home, it's dark again. You are entirely depleted. You don't have the energy to enjoy anything. You count the dollar bills in your wallet, trying to calculate if you have enough for groceries and the electric bill. The math never works out. You crawl back into the freezing bed, but you don't fall asleep right away. You stare at the water stain on the ceiling, your chest tight with a silent, suffocating panic. The anxiety of tomorrow is already sitting heavy on your chest. Let's zoom out. Because being the son of a billionaire isn't just about one comfortable Tuesday. It is an entire ecosystem of existence. When you have infinite resources, the actual value of a dollar drops to absolute zero. You don't look at price tags. Ever. You want to go to Paris. You don't check flights. You make a single phone call, and 3 hours later, you're stepping onto a Gulfstream G650. There are no security lines. There are no screaming passengers. Just leather seats, top-shelf bourbon, and the quiet hum of jet engines taking you across the Atlantic. You live in a world of profound, isolating luxury. Your primary residence is an 8-bedroom mansion, but it feels more like a museum than a home. You have cars you have only driven once. A matte black Lamborghini in the garage, a vintage Ferrari in the driveway. You buy them not because you need transportation, but because you're desperate to feel something. That is the hidden psychology of extreme generational wealth. When you can buy anything, the thrill of acquiring things vanishes. Dopamine becomes a rare commodity. You throw lavish parties on chartered yachts in Monaco. You surround yourself with beautiful people, models, and influencers. But deep down, in the quiet moments, a paranoid thought creeps in. Who are my real friends? Who is here for me? And who is here for the tab I'm keeping open? You live in an echo chamber of yes. No one ever tells you that you are wrong. Your financial advisors, your lawyers, your staff. They are all paid to keep you happy. You are entirely detached from the human struggle. You don't know the price of a gallon of milk. You have never plunged your own toilet. You have never felt the primal fear of not being able to survive. You have bought the world, but occasionally, as you look out over the balcony of your penthouse, you realize you are completely alone inside of it. Now, zoom out. On the life born at zero, poverty is not just a lack of money. It is a full-time job. It is a psychological prison that taxes your mind every waking second of your life. When you are born with nothing, you don't get to plan for 5 years from now. You barely get to plan for next Tuesday. You're trapped in what psychologists call the survival loop. You can't buy in bulk to save money because you only have exactly $20 to your name right now. So you buy the smaller, more expensive items. You pay late fees because you didn't have the cash on the first of the month. You pay overdraft fees to the bank, literally being penalized financially for not having enough finances. The system is mathematically designed to keep you exactly where you are. You don't take vacations. The concept of a trip is just a long drive to a different part of the city to help a family member fix their car. And then, the ultimate terror strikes. An emergency. Your transmission blows out on the highway. For the billionaire's son, this is a minor annoyance. His assistant handles it. For you, this is a life-altering catastrophe. It's a $700 repair you don't have, which means you can't get to work, which means you lose the warehouse job, which means the eviction notice gets taped to your door. You're always exactly one piece of bad luck away from total ruin. You spend your 20s grinding your bones into dust just to maintain a baseline of existence. You watch the luxury cars drive past you on the freeway, driven by kids your exact age, and a dark, heavy resentment builds in your stomach. You realize the hardest pill to swallow. Hard work alone does not create wealth. If hard work created wealth, the men breaking their backs on construction sites would be millionaires. Instead, you are exhausted, invisible, and running on a treadmill that keeps getting faster. 2 lives, 2 completely different universes, coexisting in the exact same country, breathing the exact same air. If you look closely at these 2 lives, you realize the ultimate truth about the modern economy. Money is not a measure of your worth as a human being. Money is a barrier. It is a shield against the friction of reality. The billionaire's son didn't do anything to earn his frictionless life. He won the biological lottery. He was born on third base and grew up believing he hit a triple. The son born with 0 didn't do anything to deserve his struggle. He was handed a broken controller and told to beat the hardest game in the world. But here is the most valuable piece of information you can take from watching them. The divide between them isn't just about cash in a bank account. It is about leverage and assets. The poor man's son is trapped because he is selling the only thing he has, his time and his physical energy. And time is finite. You can only work so many hours before your body breaks. The system relies on him staying uneducated about finance, keeping him distracted with cheap entertainment and junk food, so he keeps spinning the wheel. The billionaire's family didn't build their wealth by saving pennies from a paycheck. They built it by owning the system. They own the real estate the poor man rents. They own the index funds that hold the company the poor man works for. They own the banks that charge the poor man overdraft fees. They use debt as a weapon to avoid taxes, while the poor man is crushed by high-interest credit cards just to buy groceries. You cannot change where you were born. You cannot change the hand you were dealt. But the moment you understand the rules of the game, the moment you stop trading your time for pennies and start figuring out how to acquire leverage, skills, and assets, you stop being a victim of the system. You might not become the billionaire's son, but you can make damn sure you don't stay at 0. Wake up! The game is being played right in front of you. It's time to decide which side of the board you want to be on.